Everton against Bolton, third round of the FA Cup. What more can you need to know? Hello and welcome to part 47 of the Bolton battle. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have an FA Cup third round tie away against Everton and then a League One game away against Vale. Since you were last with me, it had been going okay until the very last game I played. We went on a nice little unbeaten run again, which stretched from in the league, it stretched all the way back from the end of October, and we're now early January. So it had been going rather swimmingly. We did lose away to Charlton in our last game, but the run had gone on long enough to mean that, as it stands at the moment, 25 games played, with 3 points clear of the mighty Posh at the top of League One. Blackburn have fallen off a little bit. I thought they were going to be our big challenges. It looks like it is going to be Posh, and normal service has been resumed on the stats as well. Mark Parnell, top goal scorer in the division with 17 goals in about 22 games, I think that is. Yeah, 17 goals in 22 games. Not bad for a lad who's just turned 19 and playing his first season of competitive football. And then we're used to seeing him there by now. Tom White is the top player in the division, has more assists than anyone else in the division. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This lad, he's only 20 years old. If he doesn't end up playing for England, I don't understand Football Manager anymore, because certainly when my dad was England manager, this is exactly the kind of player that we were on the lookout for. Can play left back, left wing, left wing back. I mean, look at these ratings. I know it's in League 2 and League 1, but he's young, he's getting better all the time. I want to sign him permanently when we move into the Championship, and we will move into the Championship this year, I've decided. But before we get into that, we have to play against Everton. We haven't played against a Premier League team yet this season, I don't think. So it's going to be a nice little test to see if we're as good as we think we are. We usually get absolutely battered. We've gone away to Everton before, actually, played this exact system and got absolutely thumped. We're going to do it again. We're going attacking. I don't care. We'll see what we can do. So we're going to play the only way we know how and see what happens. We've got Jordan Barrett in goal, Thomas, Pants and Bagley as our back three, and White and Jennings as wing backs. Enrique Alonso, he's still injured he's just about returning to fitness, should be back in the league within the next week or two. Durant has picked up an injury in midfield though. Hold on, let's get rid of all the youngsters. So John Durant is going to be out for another couple of weeks with a pulled hamstring. He's missed a couple of games now. So Lee Martin is having something of a renaissance in midfield alongside Connor Key. They're both playing rather well. They're no John Durant though. We need to get him back as soon as possible. His departure from the side has coincided with our form just slipping a little bit. We've only won 1 in 3 games since he's not been playing, picking up a draw and a defeat in the other 2. John Jones is in behind Joe Shaw and the awesome Mark Parnell up front, with Ainley and Semedo, the 2 strikers who make it onto the bench today. Russell Bye has left the club without kicking a ball in League One as well, if I recall. Where is he? I think he's left anyway. Where's he? He hasn't left. Russell Bye's still here. Hold your horses. So I agreed a fee. I assumed he'd gone. He obviously hasn't. There you go. He's on the transfer list. Well, what do you know? I thought he'd gone. He did agree terms with someone. I guess it fell through, maybe, or I dreamt it. He's also played a game. Has someone been playing on my save and fiddling? I don't understand what's happened. But yeah, we've been completely unfair to him. Nearly 50 goals. In 2 seasons in League 2, and we've just not given him a chance in League 1. But you know what? Who do we play him for? Everyone else up front is in such good form. Wayne Pennant can't get a game, and he's got 10 goals now this season, and he's just not starting games. He's started 10 games, that's it. He's started less than half. When he's scoring that kind of form in League 1, how do you get Russell Bye into the side? Ross Ainley as well. I mean, when he plays, he looks quite good. Goal return of 2 in 9 doesn't look great, but he's only started 1 game all season and picked up a couple of goals, so sorry, Russell. Right, let's get into the Everton game. That turned into a review of the season halfway through. That's madness. We don't look at the stats in that much detail. We sip coffee out of Batgirl cups whilst we're waiting for the game to load. That's more the style of this channel that you've become accustomed to. I want a pause in the action so I can take a sip. There you go, the game is on. Delightful. I don't know if it's going to be the case today. It certainly has been the case for the last couple of videos, and I don't know why. The side of my glasses has become invisible. Don't know if you can see that. And the side of my glasses isn't green, as you have probably figured out. I play with a green screen behind me. I'm not actually in the game the way it appears. But I don't know why the green screen thing makes the side of my glasses disappear, so it looks like you can see through my head. You can't see through my head in real life. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm looking at new options for green screens and lighting in here to try and make the green screen work a little bit better. It sort of goes a bit iffy on my shoulders as well when we zoom in. So I'm getting fussier and pickier. So it will get fixed at some point. For the time being, just, I don't know, you'll see through my head. See what's the other side of it. You can see more stats, I guess. That's Massimo Diawaya. He's the captain of Everton. Let's have a look at him. We all remember him exploding onto the scene for England probably 10 years ago now. Was at Man City, never really broke into the Man City team, had time on loan at Ipswich as well. There you go, he's been at Everton for the last 5 years. He's now their captain. He never played any more games for England though, by the looks of it. Bit of a shame. I thought he was going to end up being a superstar. Perhaps not. I mean, he doesn't get many assists for someone who can cross like that. They're just obviously not playing him right. Imagine if he was playing left back for us. We wouldn't play him on the wing. That would be madness. But we'd train him into a wing back and we'd cross him like that. He'd get 40 assists a season. Look, he's in there and he's just scored an absolute beauty. It's gone down to Joe Shaw own goal. That is an injustice for everybody involved, because if we have a look at this in 3D, I think we're going to see a cracking effort from Massimo Diawaya. And Joe Shaw's just in the way of it. Let's have a look. So Diawaya turns, just absolutely cracks it. I mean, yeah, I suppose it's a Joe Shaw own goal. But, I mean, what was he supposed to do? He's a League One lump of a journeyman striker who's just swung his foot at an absolute beauty. I mean, it could have gone anywhere. He's unlucky that it's gone in. I think that is a bit harsh. It was going in anyway. I'd put that down as a DIOR goal. But, you know, I'm not, as I've already explained in this episode, I'm not actually part of the game. So I can't influence any of those things. In fact, look, if I put my arms out to the sides, you'll see that my hands just disappear when they get so far. That's how far the camera goes. I'm not part of, I can't emphasise enough that I'm not part of the game engine. Right. I mean, we're not doing too bad, are we? Looking at the stats, we've not had a shot. We have had a corner, though. There you go. We're going to get a shot here. John Jones is in. Finds Parnell. Parnell's going to score. He's equalised against Everton. It's his 23rd goal of the season. It's our first shot of the game over half an hour in. And we actually played some quite good football. This is not a typical Bolton goal. We're passing it through the centre. Jones found Parnell in space with a beautiful little diagonal ball. Parnell did really well to just... You watched him check his run and stay on side. Brilliant awareness of what's going on around him. And we're trying to pass through again, but it's out to Jennings. Parnell's in with a header now. And suddenly we've got Everton on the back foot for the first time in the game. And we've shaken him up a little bit. Who's this youngster called Parnell, who apparently scores every time he touches the ball? We need to keep an eye on him. Damn straight you need to keep an eye on him, Everton. Oh, okay, they've equalised. Not equalised, they've gone ahead. I don't think we were leading. They are now. Never mind. I'm still excited about Mark Parnell. He's just scored away against Everton. I was going to say at Goodison Park. It almost certainly isn't Goodison Park anymore. Give me a famous Everton player. You've got 5 more seconds to name a famous Everton player who this ground could have been named after. Because after half time, I'm going to reveal where the game is being played by putting the match information on. You all got your guesses here. And I assume these guesses have gone in the comments. We're not operating an honour system here. Guesses in the comments. Pause it now if you need to put your guess in there, if you need time. Because I'm about to reveal the answers. So, this game is being played at... Oh, okay, Goodison Park. You were all wrong. Haha, I win. Oh, it's a good prize as well. Never mind. Sorry. Right, we need to get back into this in the second half. Oh, so how have the fullbacks both got booked again? Now Parnell's injured. Oh, he's proper injured as well. He went mini injured and then straight into proper injured. He's broken his foot as well, hasn't he? That's him done for the season, almost certainly, if he's broken his foot. Actually, we'll bring Pennock on. Spoilt for choice with strikers, but Pennock is the one who's in goal-scoring form. He's no Mark Parnell, though, is he? He's not going to strike fear into the Everton defence the way the youngster did. And, yeah, without our superhero, it's now 3-1, and it's becoming a familiar story. what happens whenever we go and play against a big team. Ever since that first season, and a big team then was it Barnet we played? Was Barnet the one we lost? I think Wickham maybe? It was someone who was like 3 or 4 divisions above us, and we did really well. Since then, any time we've played against anyone any good, we've been absolutely thumped. And I think that initial good game was before we started playing this system as well. So, as everyone always tells me in the comments, I acknowledge that you're all right. We can't do this away from home against a good team, but we're not going to stop. Ben Booth coming on for a rare appearance in midfield because Lee Martin's not having a good game at all. Booth can play there, we've just never really played him there. He's always been a wing-back for us when he's appeared. But we are a little bit light for midfielders with Durant injured. So he can play there. He might as well get some game time. We've signed him on for another season. Joe Shaw was in there. He should have scored there. Joe Shaw. I mean, that was as clear a chance as you're going to possibly get, especially against opposition like this. I thought, as I said it, Jennings was going to whip in another beauty, but unfortunately he has not. I don't want to risk Alonso. We're not going to bring him on. Let's bring on another striker. Should we bring on Ainley or Semedo? Ainley's in higher spirits, so he can come on as a target man alongside Pennock. I mean, the automated squad numbering thing looks like it highlighted these two and Parnell as our top 3 strikers at the start of the season because they got numbers 9, 10 and 11. Everyone else was given a number in the 30s. So you would think Ainley should be a decent League One striker. He just hasn't really proved it yet. I suppose away against a Premier League side isn't the way to prove you're a good League One striker. But then again, if he does play well and score a couple of goals now, he'll probably start the next game, especially with Parnell injured. Right, Jennings with the corner now. Can we make anything of this? I thought we'd want a penalty for a minute there, but it's Booth who actually commits the foul. Pennock to Key. That was a beautiful ball, and Connor Key should have just whacked that. Pants is going to get himself sent off. I thought Pants was on loan from Everton. Or is it Sheffield United? It's someone like... Oh, he has gone. Oh, Pants, what are you doing, man? That was just silly. It didn't need to happen. We'll just leave it like that. Why not? We'll play a back 2 for the last 5 minutes. What's the worst that could happen? We're trying to get back into this game here. Right, Booth out wide to White. Can he whip in across? He does. He doesn't quite find Pennock, actually. And Thomas back out to White. We don't look massively outnumbered for only having 2 at the back, which is a bit odd. Should we switch it to a 2 with... No, because this is what happens. I wasn't suggesting we switch it to a permanent 2, but a 2 with a holding midfielder in front might work. Bit diamondy then, isn't it? But yeah, this is what happens. Your 2's left massively exposed, and that's the first attack Everton have had since we've only had the 2 players at the back, and it's now in danger of becoming one of those results that starts to affect confidence, which will be a bit of a problem. Ainley, not a bad ball out to Pennock. Can he do anything at all with this? Finds Jennings. Jennings with a wild cross. It was never going anywhere, and that is full time against Everton. It wasn't a disaster results wise. Yeah, Pants is obviously going to be back in the side soon. What could be a disaster is what we find out now. So we're going to have a little look at the news and see what the damage is to Mark Parnell. I don't want to look. It's not as bad as it could have been. 6 to 7 weeks for a sprained ankle is still a problem. It's not 4 to 5 months for a broken foot. So it's just going to give someone else an opportunity. Let's go and play Port Vale, eh? Right, couple of changes for the Port Vale game. Most notable of which is the fact Parnell has had to drop out the side because he's injured. So Wayne Pennock comes in up front to partner Joe Shaw. And Enrique Alonso comes back in at right back at the expense of Glenn Jennings. I mean, it's a bit of a risk. He's not quite fit. But I like Alonso. We need to get back in the side. And ultimately, he's only here on loan. So if we break him, we send him back. We've still got Jennings. Obviously, Pants is suspended as well. So Mr. Beige comes into the back four with Thomas moving across from his normal left-sided spot of the back 3. Did I say back 4 before? I feel like I probably did. I am aware that we play with 3 at the back. Goodness me, Steve Hussey is still at the club. Steve Hussey is another one of these who we signed from Manchester City when I first arrived. Oh no, from Everton. Okay, he's not the player I thought he was. He's still been here a long time. Should probably get a shot of him. Has he got a contract? How long a contract did we give that boy? That's mad. So yeah, he's still here. He won't play today, don't worry. But it would be nice if we could score a few goals, show you that we're not as rubbish as the Everton game suggested we might be, and extend our lead at the top of the league. That's the result that we're looking for today. Although I worry that I've just drank the rest of my coffee too fast and the back of my neck is now really hot, so I might not be able to concentrate on the game properly, which that would be an unfortunate way to lose our spot at the top of the league. Warm beverage. We've not had a shot again. This was a theme against Everton, and it's not something we've been used to this season. I know we're only 7 minutes in, but I mean, they've had a clear-cut chance now, and we've still not even had a shot. We're not getting any possession either. When you think about it, we're losing the core, the spine of our team. Yes, they're all low knees and they're all young, but Pants, Durant and Parnell together have been massively important to us this season. None of them are available today. Pants will be back next week. Alonso's just getting back into the side. Durant's going to be a few weeks though, and Parnell even longer. So we need to find a way for our own players to sort themselves out. And Joe Shaw should have scored there. I'm not quite sure why that's not gone down as a clear-cut chance. Mr. Beige with a header across goal, and if he'd have connected with that properly, we'd have been 1-0 up. It was a lovely corner. Was that Alonso with the corner? It was an outswinger, and normally I'd expect an in-swinger from there. I guess it was Alonso. I wasn't paying enough attention. But it was Mr. Beige has done. I nearly just called him Beige. That would be incredibly disrespectful. Sorry, Mr. Beige. But he did all right to get it and sort of flick it across goal. Shame it didn't sort of bounce off someone else and end up in the back of the net. Right, Alonso, that is a poor cross. When we know how good he is, White will show him how you do it. That's how you do it. We've won a penalty as well. I think, was Pennock fouled in there? Someone's won a penalty somehow. I'm not sure who, how, when. Well, I know when. I don't know why. But Pennock's going to take the penalty. Hopefully, put us 1-0 up. That's what happens when you announce the score before the penalty goes in. The football manager gods are listening. So it's still 0-0. Wayne Pennock missing a penalty. And we are drifting slowly towards half-time. It looks like Posh is similarly struggling. So they're not making up any ground on us at the moment. But it would be nice if we could get ourselves ahead just before half-time. Oh, Bagley's... he's faffing in a stupid position to faff there. He's on a yellow card as well, so he can't lunge in and rescue himself from his faff. Just kick the ball out, sir. I don't even know what the thought process was there. And we're under a lot of pressure from Port Vale here. I mean, they are a poor side. They're down in the relegation battle. We should not be finding this as difficult as we're seemingly finding it. And I really hope this isn't an Everton hangover. But we're not playing well today at all. We're not getting the possession. We're not creating the shots. We still only had that one shot on target, which I guess was the penalty. Does that count as a shot on target? So we've not had a shot on target from open play. Joe Shaw hit the post, I think. Mr. Beige came close as well. But we're not really threatening goal at the moment, are we? We might need to make some changes sooner rather than later. White with the cross to Pennock. And Tom White, his 17th assist of the season now. And Wayne Pennock amends his earlier error of missing the penalty with, I guess this was a little header. It looked like a really well-placed header into the bottom corner. We'll have a proper look at it now, though. So White with the cross in. It must be a header. Look, that's a beautiful header as well. That is close to being perfectly placed. It was timed right. There was no way the keeper was getting near that. That was, bearing in mind, you got to remember, we signed Pennock as a midfield player. He looked like a proper centre forward. He looked like a proper Bolton centre forward, a big lump who's good in the air. And that's not what he is, apart from the good in the air part, which he's just proven there. Sure, ball over the top. Can't quite manage it, but it makes its way out where it's supposed to White. And John Jones picks it up, back to Key, out to Alonso to cross. Bounces back out, but it's to Alonso again. Crosses into Shaw, and Shaw is never in a million years missing from there. That was bread and butter for Joe Shaw. Let's have a look at it again. Cross comes in from Alonso. Shaw finds himself a little bit of space. Just the right side of the penalty spot. Ball in the air. He is never missing that. We're 2-0 up, and hopefully now we'll settle ourselves in for a victory here. We're 6 points clear of Posh at the moment. I can only assume they're not playing today. Because otherwise I don't know why nothing is happening in their game. Did I see someone who picked up a knock? Oh, Alonso needs to come off, doesn't he? We'll bring Jennings on for Alonso. Alonso's on a yellow card and tired and on his way back from injury, so we'll whip him off. We're also going to bring off John Jones and just drop Pennick back into the attacking midfield position. Bring on Ross Ainley. Give him 20 minutes to try and get into some goal-scoring form to give us another option up there, which would be rather pleasant if it comes off. Mr. Beige has just scored an own goal after a beautiful piece of attacking play from a corner in the first half. He's shown yet again why he's probably not a League One player there, because that was going wide. It's just hit him in the knee. I mean, he didn't even put his hands on his head until a considerable amount of time had passed. He's just made up for it though. Mr. Beige, his second goal of the season. Instant reply from Mr. Beige. I'm not even done criticising him for how poor he was defensively before. And he is on a mission there. He has launched himself at that. And there was only ever going to be one outcome. Mr. Beige can score goals. Why didn't he do that in the first half? Would have had less to worry about then. Alright, what have we got on the bench? We're drifting slowly towards bare bones here, aren't we? I guess we bring Semedo on. I want him to play himself into some form. On paper, he should be really good for us. And it's just not coming off for him in games. So, now's probably quite a good time to bring him on. 10 minutes to go. The game, in theory, is won. And if we concede another goal, Mr. Beige will just go up there on a mission again and make up for it. So let's get Semedo a goal. A ball over the top. If he doesn't score this, I mean, that is exactly the kind of chance we signed him to be scoring. Look at his profile. That should be what he does. I think he's just suffering confidence, maybe. Probably needs a run of games. He's not going to get it unless we pick up another injury or two. And I think he'll probably be on his way sooner rather than later. And maybe even before the end of this transfer window, because he's on quite a lot of money and he's just not playing any games for us. And we could probably move him on and maybe work Russell Bye a little bit closer back into the matchday squad again. Maybe. He's probably not good enough either, though. But he's on a lot less money than Semedo is. So, did Posh play? They did. They drew 2-2. So that puts us at the end of the episode, 5 points clear at the top. I can live with that. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.